What's up, drop services? Dylan Sigley here. The great thing about drop servicing is we typically have a 75 to 95% profit margin, right? And I've been running multiple drop servicing businesses, driving six figures for almost 5 years now, and have an education business called the Drop Servicing Blueprint that teaches drop servicing. And in this video here, I'm going to be revealing to you the #1 most profitable drop servicing niche there is. And better yet, it's actually a tutorial showing you how to build a drop servicing business in this niche, so you can go out there right after the video and start making those internet sales. Let's go. But before we get into the video, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so that when I release more drop servicing tutorials, marketing strategies and tactics, you'll get notified. And if you like the video, don't forget to like the video or dislike the video if you hate it. And remember, comment below any questions you have at all throughout this video and I'll reply to you personally. Let's go, guys. Okay, so here we are in the laptop of destiny here, and let's say you already know the best process for selecting your niche like I taught you in this video on screen here. If you don't know the best process for selecting a niche, check it out. But in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the best niche for beginners so you can go out there and actually start your drop servicing business with this niche right away. So the most profitable and best niche for beginners should be highly profitable, of course, right? Because if you're a beginner, you're probably not going to get a lot of sales right away. So hopefully the sales that you do get will be very, very profitable, meaning you actually get to keep some of the money that you're making with these sales, right? Next, it needs to be relatively easy to understand. Not because you're a complete idiot as a beginner, although I know I was. It's just because you don't have as much experience, right? So you want to make it a little bit simpler so it's easier to understand, easier to grasp, and easier to build that business and get results in the beginning. And then also you want it to be easy to sell, because if it's difficult to sell as a beginner, obviously it's going to take longer to get those sales. You're going to put more effort into learning how the process of closing the deals. You want it to be in high demand and have a lot of urgency and importance around it, so clients are ready and willing to buy without you having to push too much with it. So drum roll please. The very best profitable niche in drop servicing is animated videos for tech companies. That's right. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. It's a super profitable niche. It's very easy to understand and easy to sell. So animated videos are a really great one to go with for tech companies. And I've been selling to this niche since 2015, guys. The demand just grows and grows and grows. So let's break down how to build an animated marketing video drop servicing business, how to get sales, and how to deliver. First, let's jump into how to build the business itself. So jump into my Freedom laptop here and let's get into it. So the first thing you need to do is actually build the business itself and create the offer, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be able to reach out to anyone with anything. So I'm going to show you what we would do and the steps that you need to go through to do this. So what you want to do first of all, just go to upwork.com. You could also use Fiverr, People Per Hour, freelancer.com, whatever you prefer really. And then what you're going to want to do is sign up, okay? So I recommend signing up to post a job. So just add in your email address. It asks for a work email address, but you don't need one of those. It might say, do you want to use a work one instead? But just click the button again and it will take you through to the next page. So what we're doing here is I'm actually going to show you how to find different freelancers and look at their prices. And then we're going to go look at competitor prices to figure out what our offer and price should be on our website. So what you want to do once you've signed up is just type in animated video or animation, and then you're going to see a bunch of different freelancers, okay? So you can go through and look at all of these. You can look at their reviews, their past work, see what they're charging, level of quality, and what you could do is just talk to them about how much they would charge for your competitors' videos, and then it'll give you a good idea of how much they're going to charge versus the competitors. But I've already gone about this process and I found it's pretty crazy. It's usually around 10 times more the competitors will charge, or even more. So it does get pretty insane. And don't worry too much about that step yet, but what I want you to do is log into Upwork, one of these freelance networks, find a bunch of different animators, figure out which are your favorite ones, and then reach out to them by posting a job and inviting them to your job. But the next thing we're going to do is actually go and have a look at some competitors. So you can type in animated video agency and you're likely to get some competitors of yours. So here we can see already we've got Demo Duck, we've got YSL, and you can see here that they don't have any prices on their website. So to find their prices, what we would need to do is actually reach out to them and find their prices. And then you're also going to find that YSL has pricing over here, but you still need to click get pricing and then basically go through all these steps, figure out everything. It's a bit of a long process with them. And then you're going to need to do a quote. So they kind of trick you into thinking you're going to get pricing, but then you end up just giving a quote. And most of them are going to require a quote. But if you search through enough competitors, you'll find a few websites that have pricing directly on the website. And you can literally just grab the pricing from the website, compare that to the freelancers that you find on Upwork.com. And from there, you can work out your prices, right? As I've told you guys many times in many videos, it's simply taking your competitor prices, minusing your freelancer costs. That's your profit margin. Then within that profit margin, you can select whatever price you like. Obviously, if you go with a higher price, each sale you get is going to have a higher level of profit margin. And then if you go with a lower price, you're going to end up getting more sales in general. But once you have your pricing, you've decided on your offer based on your competitors and freelancers costs, you're going to want to set up your website. And you're going to base your website really a lot on what your competitors' websites are like. So just look through all your competitors' websites, look for similarities and differences, note those down, and then you can move on to the next step. So you can go through the process of purchasing a domain name. So you just need to choose a name for your animated video business, purchase domain, get really cheap ones for like $8, even $1 on namecheap.com. And then from there, you want to set up your website or your LinkedIn page if you want to go completely free. So you could use Divi. That's the one that I recommend primarily if you're going to go with WordPress site. It's a great builder, and I recommend using Divi. The pricing isn't too crazy. It's only $89 a year, so I recommend signing up for Divi. That's my recommendation. Or you can just go onto LinkedIn, create a LinkedIn page, and you can turn that into essentially an offer page or a website page for your animated video agency as well. And that way you can get pretty good sales there too. So the next step after you've gone through that process of building the business is finding your tech startups and getting sales, right? So all we need to do is go onto sites like Crunchbase, for example, which is a directory, and directories is one of the methods of marketing that we teach in the drop servicing blueprint. So jump onto Crunchbase here, which is a really great directory of tech companies, and you can see, for example, we can go and check out different companies. So you can click search here, and we can use all of these different fields to search for different kinds of companies, and they even have the phone number and the email. And then all we would do is email them or phone them if our appointment setter was going to call them, as I described what an appointment setter was in the last video, so check that video out if you haven't. But you can call them, you can have your appointment setter call them, your lead generator can reach out to them with an email, and you're essentially just putting your offer in front of decision makers in order to get those potential opportunities to close a deal. But remember, in any offer, you want to have a certain amount of urgency and importance around what you're doing, so you're more likely to get that sale. If you're just saying the same thing that every other animated video company out there is saying, you're going to get less sales, right? So what you want to do in order to figure out the best offer possible is continuously test new copy. Be creative, guys. Come up with ideas. Look at what other companies are doing in terms of their offers, and then put together the best offer over time. It does take time, but if you go through this process, if you just build your simple little animated video business using that process I showed you there, and then you go into Crunchbase to find phone numbers and emails, and with enough volume of sending messages to these companies, you're going to get some good sales for your animated video agency. But from there, you're going to need to deliver the service, right? Once you get that first sale. And with an animated video agency, it's really simple. So with any drop servicing business, remember guys, I don't recommend you work with the freelancers on the network over time. Maybe the first 3 times of a project, you can work on them for a few times, a few different gigs, a few different projects that you have for them. But after a while, you're going to want to take them off of the freelance network so you can build a real long-term team, build a real business. Otherwise, the freelance network is going to have all of the power. You're going to be paying the freelancer more than you would need to because of the fees that they have to pay on these networks. But of course, it's good to start off with the networks in the beginning just because you have a bit more security being on those networks, okay? And it's against their terms of service to take them off the network, so you need to be a little bit tricky about that. But essentially what you're going to do once you get a sale is you're going to send your client a questionnaire, and you can build that questionnaire based on what your freelancers tell you the information they need is, okay? So you build that questionnaire, or you can go find your competitors' questionnaires, put together all the questions, all the information, all the assets that your freelancer is going to need, and then send that completed questionnaire back to the freelancing team, and they're going to build that animated video. So they're going to go through a process of scripting, storyboarding, voiceover, and animation. And depending on the level of quality and the timeline, you can do these things in different ways. So for example, you don't even need to include storyboarding as a part of it. But what you're going to need is to hire a script writer. You're going to use different voiceover artists. So you want to have different options for voiceover artists. So you have different accents and styles and gender, of course. And so you can find most of those voiceover artists on Fiverr. There's a lot of options there. It's essentially a giant network for you to use a voiceover artist, and they're relatively inexpensive in comparison to some of the voiceover websites out there. So once you've produced your script and you've got that voiceover as well, you're going to go into storyboarding, of course. So your animation team will put together the storyboard, they'll put together the illustrations, and then they'll do the animation. So you only need an animator from there. You need a script writer, voiceover artist, and an animator. All of those can be found on Upwork.com, freelance.com, peopleperhour.com, five.com. And then from there, you're pretty much good to go. You know, you're going to have that questionnaire filled out at the beginning of the project, then you're going to go through those steps, and there might be some review and revisions from clients, but you just want to make sure the client is happy and that the client liked the team's work before they started, right? If they liked your past work, they're going to like your future work. From there, what you want to do is deliver that final file, and I recommend in terms of purchase, try and get your purchase 100% up front, so get paid 100% up front from your clients. At worst, do 50% up front before the project begins and 50% on delivery. And in terms of payment methods, you can do Stripe, you can do PayPal, but you can also do bank transfer directly to your bank using something like TransferWise. Is really awesome. There's all kinds of ways you can do it these days, but that really is how simple the process can be, especially when you have the most profitable niche out there, which is animated videos for tech companies. It's the easiest one to get started with if you're a beginner at drop servicing, and that's why I recommend you get started with this niche for your very first drop servicing business. So if you have any questions at all, comment below. I'll answer you right away. Might even create additional follow-up videos for you. Otherwise, that's all the time I've got for you today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I'll talk to you soon.